Getting ready to leave on the big spring break trip. Last year we went through the Colorado Rockies towing the travel trailer with the Traverse. Got stuck in a snowstorm on a mountain on our way heading towards Las Vegas. This year we're going to take a little bit different approach. We're going to bring the third gen Ram. We're actually going down south, so we shouldn't hit any mountains. We're going to be heading out to New Orleans. From Chicago to New Orleans, roughly 2,000 miles. Everything should be fine. I just got new tires and alignment. We should be good to go. Okay, I can't keep this up. I'm actually recording this intro afterwards. It doesn't make it. My dogs get attacked. We had a pew pew scare. It was worse than last year. And that last year I had a $400 tow bill. You're going to want to watch and see what happens. Trust me, this one probably won't disappoint. All right, so I'm actually already on day 2. This is the first time I've had a chance to really turn on the camera. This is the first time I've had the opportunity to see the RV since it's been gotten back from the factory after repairs. Some of you have been following that saga. I'm going to put a separate video up on that. And the reason why is I'm working on a few things. Not everything went the way it was supposed to do. It's supposed to. So, yeah. It's not everything. I'm not hunky-dory, and I'm just trying to work a lot of things out right now. Just trying to get everything figured out. Although they put some new decals on it. I don't know if you can see that. But, or if you care. I do like these new decals a little bit better. But, they did a pretty good job with the work that they did do. But then it came back with things broken that it didn't go out broken with. And I'm going to wait before putting a video out to see how that's handled, but right now I'm just trying to gain the information to say, okay, why wasn't this fixed? Why wasn't this fixed? Is this not covered under warranty, or what's the story behind it? Before I jump down on the company's throat, even though I'm not trying to jump down on the company's throat, I'm just trying to be frank and honest with what's going on with everything. We'll see what happens and how that details. This has not been a fun trip. My dad dropped it off for us, so it was already set up when we got there. As we were leaving, my wife was walking the dogs. Somebody had their dog off of a leash outside while they were in their RV. The dog came over and attacked my dogs. That was not fun. I think it was more of a playful, as my wife thinks, but he was really aggressive because, thank God, it doesn't seem like either one of them were hurt. But yeah, this is why you need to keep your dogs on a leash in a campground. I don't care if your dog's pleasant and nice and whatever, but I mean, the problem is not necessarily the dog. The problem is the dog owner not being able to control the dog how they need to properly control it, and not treat the dog how they should be treating the dog. These rules are set in place for instances because of people like that. Bugs are out already. So I gotta tell you about this. So we left Chicago. It was, almost freezing. I left in my winter coat, and we are now in Mississippi, but we left Southern Illinois for Mississippi. We're at Army Corps of Engineer Camp. I gotta go look this up. We're over at the Hernando Point Campground. I got here and I was looking at a future reservation that we're at site number 2. And I did put in the right campground, but I guess I mixed up the names of the lakes. So we got to the right campground. I put in that we're going to site 2. Even on my calendar, I put in the proper site. We were actually supposed to be at site 12. So we got to site 2. We set up camp, and then we went out to church so that we don't have to worry about that in the morning, because we're going to be getting an early start tomorrow morning. We were out to dinner at Whataburger, and I decided to go look at the reservations, just see how everything was set up, and I noticed we were at the wrong site. We're not supposed to be at site 2. We're supposed to be at site 12. And I had put 12 even on the calendar, my notes. So we were going to eat at Whataburger. We ended up taking it to go and getting our site, hoping our RV wasn't towed in the process. We drove around, saw our RV was there. Okay, we went over, we checked out site 12, and there was just a bunch of kids running around, really noisy area of the campground, and we didn't really want that. So what we ended up doing was renting site 4, which was available, and just across the way from site 2, move the trailer. This site's a little bit better because right now because we're dealing with an early leave. We're leaving early. I actually have it hitched up to the truck, ready to go in the morning. So all we have to do is bring up all the lifts and, you know, the wheel chocks and disconnect the electric, and we're ready to pull out. That's one of the benefits. I'm looking, site 2 is right in front of me right now, just behind the camera. It's still empty. I don't know but that was reserved. So that's why we did what we did. So I'm going to be out like $24 for site 12, because I also rented site 4 that I'm sitting at for $24. So I got 2 sites here now. But you know, we like this site better. It was just more convenient and easier, and it was available when we got this. It was already 6 p.m. So chances are, if anybody was going to reserve this site, they would have done it by then for tonight. So we just kind of got up, moved, got ready for tomorrow. So that was our little hoopla of the day. He was saying that there's supposed to be storms coming through tomorrow, through Mississippi, where we're driving through. Basically, I've been monitoring it, trying to figure out when the storms are supposed to show up, find out what kind of wind there is. We're looking at winds somewhere between 15 to 25 mile per hour. So if we're at a high gust of 25 mile per hour, it's actually not mile per hour. It's actually not too terribly bad. I can handle that. It's just not going to be the most fun in the world dealing with this trailer back here, trying to deal with the wind. But I'll do what I could do, and we'll see what happens. I've already been trying to figure out the weight distribution and things like that. I've dealt with wind gusts of up to 70 miles per hour. That we did that on our shakedown trip. I didn't have as big of a tow vehicle, and so I'm not too worried about it. I'm more now worried about trying to beat the storms out. And we have a noon check-in where we're going, but we have a 5.5 hour drive to get there. And this next site is actually pretty darn cool. I found a campground in the middle of a major American city. Like literally in the middle of a major American city. Hey there, good morning. You sleep well? I didn't. So I just came in here to go get my drill. Ooh. We gotta go take the RV down the yard. We start with the jacks. Trying to empty the water as best I can, just through the miscellaneous tanks. The wind's already beginning to start. It's before 8 a.m. I can see what time exactly. 7:49. I don't know if I've ever showed you this jack before. Let's see if I can actually get the camera in here. And away we go. Oops. You just kind of throw all this stuff in the bed of the truck. Do some dumping. And you don't want to be around for that. So I'm just going to go ahead and let you go, and I'll take care of that. You do whatever it is you do. You probably won't even notice the time is gone. So much for getting a head start on the day. Over at a Pilot, and I'm getting a misfire issue on the truck. I think it might be my air filter. It's due. And it's pretty icky. So that might be the issue. I pulled out, I was getting a 300, which is a misfire on all cylinders, so it's got to be a system issue. I did get the throttle body light. That's now off. So I'm going to pull another set of plugs, see how dirty those are, to see if that's the issue. I put some injector cleaner in there, so that should hopefully clean things up. But worst case scenario, I drive it up the road. If I deem it's the air filter, I'll drive it up the road and see what's going on to the auto parts store and buy a new air filter, and hopefully that'll fix everything. Yeah, just keeping the fingers crossed. So the plan is, I put a bottle of fuel injection cleaner in there. Seems to be doing a little better. We're gonna get gas. I got only a quarter of a tank left anyways. And what I'm gonna go ahead and do, we're gonna drive it over to the auto parts store. If it clears up, all I need then is probably a new air filter. I could buy it there, put it in, we're good to go. Otherwise, I'm in a place where I can at least buy parts and start throwing them at it. We are still in Mississippi. We have not made it yet to Louisiana. The fixing of the truck, we drove it over to AutoZone, where I bought a map sensor, put that in. Didn't do anything. I bought a new air filter because the air filter looked kind of dirty, and I knew it was due anyways. So I put a new air filter in. That did nothing. What else? I bought one of the solenoids on one of the cylinder that was giving me an issue. That did nothing. We drove it 100 miles here. We're at Wendy Oaks Campground, just outside of Jacksonville. Anyways, we got a nice pond over there, and we're now discussing what we're going to do. Basically, it's got to go into a shop. I don't have the tools if it's a valve spring, and I don't know what's going on with it. I can keep throwing parts at it and hope something clicks, but chances are if it's a sensor or something like that, I'd be getting other codes. So I can plug the code reader in, see if I got any other codes in this last 100 miles. I went through like an entire tank of gas in less than 100 miles. But it looks like it's going to have to get into a shop, and I'm hoping something serious isn't damaged. So that's where we sit, rolling with the punches and figuring out what we're going to do. Are we going to move forward? Are we going to rent a truck and put this in the shop? Or are we just going to sit tight where we are? We don't know yet. So anyways, I'll keep it posted. You know I will. So I put the truck on the code reader again after driving 100 miles. Got a new code for a fuel injector. So I can't really do much because it's Sunday. So I'll call tomorrow morning, figure out what can happen. I already looked at it. I'm not going to be able to pull it off here at the campground. I just really don't have that great of tools or facilities to do that. So I'm going to have to hire somebody to do it. Right now we're preparing for rain and possible heavy storms. We were hoping to be south of this and out of this tonight, but that was what we were aiming for. We've been given warnings about where to go in case of possible tornado and all of that fun stuff. Hopefully we don't hear any sirens tonight. Anyways, we're waiting on dinner to get delivered, and well, hopefully you'll hear from me tomorrow. Got it at the auto repair shop. It's serious. So I still don't know exactly what's wrong with it, but we got a misfire on cylinder 2, even though it's reading 5 for some reason. He did a compression check, really low compression. He's gonna take the valve cover off, take a look at it, and we're gonna see what happens from that point on. But yeah, just waiting to hear more news. This might be the end. Oh, it's definitely there's definitely a problem. The keeper just got crushed, so we need to get new keepers. That's not too hard of a part to get. He said it should be in around 2:30. Well, actually I think he said about 1:30. Actually, it's 11 now. They said it was supposed to be here at 12:30, but he's like it's good. That's when they're gonna leave the warehouse. So I'm gonna take a walk, get lunch. There's some stores not too far from here. I think there was a Waffle House or something. So I'm gonna go grab lunch, and when he gets the keepers, he's gonna start taking everything else apart, and we'll see what the valve situation is. Hopefully the valve's not bent or anything like that. All right, just got done with lunch, breakfast, I don't know what you want to call it. Lunchtime, but I ate breakfast. So my first time at the Waffle House, heard so much about it. I mean, you do gotta love a restaurant that has a code of conduct when you walk in the door, but honestly it was like any other breakfast place for the most part. The hash browns are actually really good. I got the hash browns, not the grits. I really don't like grits. Some of you might beat me up for that, but you know, whatever. Now I just gotta figure out another thing to do to occupy my time for a while. Things didn't go as planned. I'll catch you up, but I got a new ride. Well, it's not new, it's temporary. You can see I'm in a rental place. So, got a 2500 Cummins. This ought to be fun. What happened was a keeper broke and the valve's now bent. He gave me a high estimate in case the worst case scenario happens of just under $2,000. So we're getting the truck fixed. Fortunate part about it, I guess, I don't know if it's fortunate or not, but I wouldn't try to fix this myself, even
I would have gotten it towed to a shop after finding it myself, and had them take care of it probably. This might be a little high. I'm hoping for a lot of sag on this truck from my little tiny trailer. We'll see what happens.
All right, we finally made it. Day late, but we made it. This has been the epitome of the trip. We are at the French Quarters RV Resort. So I got a swimming pool here, hot tub, a workout gym, small one, but it exists. And the biggest thing is, I don't even know if you can make out the buildings behind me. I think there's an RV in the way, but we're pretty much, well, we're like a block away from, whoops, gotta watch where I'm walking. We're about a block away from the French Quarters, back that way, and it's set off the buildings of the skyline of New Orleans. So, although it is really close to the highway, if you couldn't tell, and from the sound, but it's not too bad in the RV. Turn on the fan to the AC and you don't even hear any of that. Took it, got it into the shop. Although that shop is absolutely amazing. After we took it in, we found out I broke a keeper. Keeper for the valve spring. This is one of the valve springs I replaced, so I'm really kicking myself for that. He basically said it's going to be until Wednesday, Thursday, that he'll be able to get it done if it doesn't need any machining. We rented the truck. One of the reasons why we picked that place was the idea of renting a truck was on our radar to begin with. So we found a place close to the truck rental place, and then we found a shop nearby as well. We were staying at the Wendy Oaks campground. Phenomenal experience there, has been very helpful. She recommended the shop I ended up bringing it to. He has been awesome. Of everything that's going on, I do gotta thank God that everybody that I've ran across has been absolutely amazing in my time of need. One of the good parts, and when I was talking to the mechanic, he was like, oh yeah, I like it when I get people who actually know what they're talking about, so I don't have to do a lot of explaining. I think he figured out what I told him, and he's like, you got low compression. I'm like, I guess the next step is take the valve cover off. And I think that clicked with him, like, oh, you know what the heck you're talking about. We were supposed to have a fun-filled day here in New Orleans today. Instead, we were over in Florence, Mississippi, where my truck still is, and we're here now. So we at least are going to be able to have a full day here in New Orleans. We got 2 nights. Wednesday we head back, hopefully to a fixed truck. I got a big day of walking around tomorrow to do. We were discussing tours and things like that we can do, and places to go and things to see. It's going to be fun, right? I hope so. let's start with breakfast. So my wife says, let's go out for breakfast. I'm thinking she means, let's go out for breakfast. No, what she really meant to say was, let's go out for breakfast and explore the French Quarters. So I just was thinking we were going to go out to the restaurant, come back to over here to the trailer. No, we actually went on a tour of the French Quarters, and I was not prepared. I did not bring my backpack with a bottle of water or anything like that. So we did see a few sights. It started getting hot, and we headed back. We did some swimming. Then later in the afternoon, I was like, well, I'm going to go walk over to the cemetery. So we're at, if you're familiar with New Orleans, we're actually just a block away from the St. Louis Cemetery 1. This is actually a really famous cemetery. We got there. We were out there around 3:30. We found out the cemetery closes at 3. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to go head out there because I do want to check it out and see, and just see it. We were going to go look at the other cemeteries. We just kind of wanted to wander the cemeteries because they're kind of unique around here. But that one was closed as well. After that, we came back to the RV, hung out a little bit, but we were like, let's get an early dinner, because we're going to have a ghost tour later this evening. So we decided to go back into the French Quarters for an early dinner. We went to Apothecary, something like that. The restaurant was called. It's basically like a vampire-themed restaurant. My son did not like that restaurant one bit. He did not like the theme of it. He was freaking him out. We then went to the ghost tour. It was a weird situation. It was a good tour overall until the very end. And it wasn't the tour company's fault. So we're sitting there, we're hearing the ghost stories of this restaurant, and he was getting ready to finish up, and when we showed up, some guy, and he had the Creole type accent, that Cajun accent. So he's probably a local. Started messing around with our group, and the guy's just trying to give the tour. He decides he's going to stand behind the tour guide and pull something out of his pocket. My son is standing right in front of the tour guide. She freaks out and says, put that down, grabs my son, yanks on him right away. I look up at the guy, and he has his arm out like this, holding something. And I see a black tip on it. I'm getting ready to leap into action. I actually take my first step to leap into action, and then at that point in time, the guy kind of lowers it a little bit, and I see exactly what it is. He's sitting there aiming a bottle, what looks like tequila. Had a black cap on it. Freaked the heck out of me when I saw that. It was not a fun experience. We'll just put it that way. But cops were called. I don't know whether the guy, whatever happened to that or came of it, but that basically ended the tour. The tour guide told us to go over to get into Jackson Square. We were literally right next to Jackson Square. And he came over there and basically said, what I need to finish up with the story is that they have a table in there nobody ever sits at. That's always set, and that's how they keep the ghost happy. We couldn't wait to get back to the RV at that point in time. So we headed back. We ended up down Bourbon Street in the evening. I did not realize this, neither did my wife, that Bourbon Street's pretty active. They close it off every single evening. I mean, this is a Tuesday evening. They shut the street down, and people are out there having a good time. I thought it was just something that happened during Mardi Gras, but it apparently goes around year-round, every night. So we got to check out Bourbon Street for a little while, walk down there. We didn't stop anywhere and just walked down there. Got back to the RV, and that's where we dealt with some adult refreshment when we got back. Because we're heading back to Florence, Mississippi, where hopefully my truck will be ready to give you an update on that. It did not need any kind of machining on the head, so they've been moving quickly. I actually called back and said, hey, while you're doing that, and you got the head out, maybe you can also do this. And the mechanic went on the phone and basically said, yeah, I'm not going to be able to do that because I already got the valve cover on, which means it should be pretty much done, if it's not done already. So hopefully I'll get the call tomorrow that it's done, and we can go pick that up. We'll be back with Florence to get it.
Today was supposed to be the day that this whole trip turned around.
Notice I'm back in my truck. I'm driving it and I'm getting my lightning bolt on the dashboard. So there's definitely something going on here. I'm not getting any other codes along with that. So I don't know what to make of it. It's weird. I'll run it. I'll shut it off. Start it back up. Everything's perfectly fine. The only thing I can think of is something's getting caught in the fuel system. I'm going to give the mechanic a call tomorrow to see if maybe something wasn't done or something was missed or whatever that could be causing that before I hit the road tomorrow, because we're heading on our way back home. And then I just started idling it right here at the site, and I did it twice, and same thing. After idling it for a while, the light would come on. I'd shut it off, turn it back on, and it would be fine. Then I would idle it some more, the light would come back on, shut it off, turn it back on, it would be fine. I did that about 3 times. So I did pick up, in the process of this, the gas station across the street from the campground. One of them had Seafoam on the shelf, so I picked up a bottle of Seafoam, threw that in the gas tank. Hopefully that does something, or at least helps a little bit, but I'm going to talk to the mechanic tomorrow, see what he thinks. Worst case scenario, I did pull up some live data. I really don't know what I'm looking at. I do know that it's flashing between open loop, drive, and closed loop fairly quickly. You can hear it actually does it, as you can hear the engine going. Got to get up early tomorrow, call the mechanic. He's probably gonna want me to bring it over, take a look at it, and hopefully we can get the light to come on for him so that he can actually look at it and look at the data, because that's about the only thing that he can do. Tom Sawyer's RV Park. We're in West Memphis, Arkansas. Across the river, that's the Mississippi River. Behind me is Memphis, or I don't know, a park or something. Yeah, I don't see any buildings, but we're not far from Memphis at all. We're in West Memphis after all. As far as the light, I just kind of rolled with it. I went out there, had him look at it. He thought that he had the connector was bad or something like that, and it didn't stick very well. So he redid it. It still came back on. At that point in time, I bought some electric cleaner. Let me get in the shade so you can actually see me. So I bought some electric cleaner and cleaned off the connections. It still came back. Ran into a little bit of a problem. Had a sharp hill, and now bit my stabilizing jack. So I am going to pull out the floor jack I keep in my pass-through, and we're going to use that temporarily till I can get a hold of a replacement. But this kind of sucks because I can't even put it out right now. I mean, I might be able to fix that a little bit to get it going, but that jack's going to end up being replaced. There was a driveway, and it had a really steep, quick hill on it, and I got up to it. I'm like, I don't know if I really want to do this, and I went for it anyways. Shouldn't have probably done that. So I'm gonna have to replace that jack. Like I said, I got a temporary fix. Okay, that should at least, keep it stable. The wheels aren't coming off the ground. This is just there because this jack is busted. pulled the spark plugs tonight because I got a check engine light, that P300 code that means random misfire. And then it also gave me a code telling me there was a misfire on cylinder 2. Cylinder 2 is the one I just got fixed. But I pulled the spark plugs out of it, and they were a nice golden brown. The color of the perfect s'more is what they ended up. They'd be exactly what you want to see. I don't know what the heck is going on. It's still giving me the lightning bolt of death. It's telling me now with the codes that that cylinder's missing, but it doesn't seem to be doing so. So I don't know where to go from here. And well, I do know where I'm going to be heading from here. So I'm going to be visiting my parents in Southern Illinois, and it's about 3.5 hour drive. It seems like if the RPMs are high, like, you know, I'm dealing with driving RPMs. It only seems, the lightning bolt seems to only come on at idle. So as long as I'm on the highway, I should be okay. Just don't let it idle at rest stops, and then until I get off the highway, it shouldn't really be much of an issue. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm not seeing anything or hearing anything that makes me say, hey, there's something broken on it. I gotta worry about something. So let's just hope that's it, and you know, we can tackle it tomorrow, because my parents' house, you know, I got full arrays of tools and things like that to be able to work on this. This looks pretty sketch. There's nothing ratchet straps and some duct tape can't fix. Okay, so I'm sitting here in Arkansas. We're at a gas station. We just got done. I went off the road to go check out the water tower. You know, the one that got shot that has Johnny Cash on it. In a very precarious place. So there's only an exit to get off, not one to get on over there. We end up going down some county roads that are actually gravel roads. We're dealing with some pretty high wind situations right now. So keeping you updated. So far so good. The truck has not hit any kind of issues, any kind of lights or anything, knock on wood. And this is our last destination before we head home. We will be heading home tomorrow. We'll probably get in some recreation. I pulled those plugs. Those plugs are nice and golden brown. They look exactly like you want plugs to look. So it's not doing a lot of missing. It's just doing enough missing that it's triggering lights. So I don't think the biggest concept has been that it's a fuel injector. So that's one of the things that I have to look into, try to figure out. Maybe I'll just throw a new fuel injector in there and see what happens. Today we go ahead and head home. We're trying to get everything loaded up into the truck. And there's still more to come. It's going to be a rainy day, so I might need quite a few garbage bags if stuff isn't going to fit in my little tote bag back. I'm fortunate. I think we'll make it home. I think we'll be okay. Knock on wood. Well, we came up with a new problem. I bent the bumper here when this jack came up. So now my waste hose is stuck in there. Fortunately, I was able to pull the one from the other side. Haven't used this one yet. It's the first time ever. The highlight of the trip. Didn't necessarily need to get gas, but decided to get some because, well, I was getting some complaints about the bathrooms. But this is typically where I would stop usually. This might be my last stop of this trip, hopefully. If it is, I hope it's just to use the bathroom because, well, I fill up here and I can make it home on one gas tank. So I'm in Effingham right now, Illinois. But everything seems to be going good until we got into the gas station. That's when everything hit the fritz. But I stopped it, filled up the tank, and now we'll hit the road again.
You might be a redneck.
Okay, well, I made it home, and I just wanted to give a big shout out to John Davis Auto Repair, who got me to this place. Without his help, I could not have made it. He was awesome throughout the whole thing. I never once felt taken advantage of. He walked me through everything. He was fairly priced. If you're in the Florence, Mississippi area, go look him up. Get yourself a new repair shop because he's awesome. And if you happen to be driving there, you need a oil change or something, give him a call and, get that oil change with him. Give him some business if you can, because he was amazing throughout this whole thing. He charged me a fair price for everything. I didn't feel like I was getting gouged or anything. As a matter of fact, I think I actually paid less getting it fixed there than I would have if I would have brought it home and gotten it fixed around me. That's just the way that went. Also, if you're in the Florence, Mississippi area, stop at Wendy Oaks, Wendy Oaks Campground. If you're into that camping thing, they were great to us as well. And a big part of what alleviated a lot of the issues that we dealt with was accidentally falling upon that campground. So just want to give a big shout out to them, and I'll see you next time.